We continue today with our series on local schools with a visit to Burr and Burton Academy. There, we met up with Headmaster Mark Tashjian for a conversation about what's going on up in the hill and some of the ideas and initiatives they're starting off the year with. And as we've been doing with the heads of other schools we've had these conversations with, we also talked about some of the other issues in education that have a national resonance, like the challenges schools face coming out of the COVID pandemic and artificial intelligence. Thank you very much for making the time for our conversation today, part of our series of conversations with heads of school around the area. So I guess I just wondered, I'll start by asking the same question I've asked everyone else we've spoken to so far. Any new programs or initiatives that are being launched this year at Burr and Burton that you think the viewers ought to know about?
Sure. So the first thing is every year we have a theme for the year. And this year's theme is Bulldogs Make It Better. And what we try to do is pick a theme and keep to it. You know, it'll be a theme throughout the year. And we wanted a theme that was a mindset as much as it was something to guide thinking just this year. And the way I talk about it with students is that if we can get everybody, students and adults, to adopt a mindset of making it better, then we all become better. And, you know, you can start with the individual. You know, for a student, it's how do you make it can be a paper, it can be a project, it can be your study habits, it can be your approach to learning. How do I make it better? If you're on a team, how do you make your team better? Not just how do you become a better player on that team, but how do you make your teammates stronger? And we want people to think all the time about who they are and the impact they're having on their surroundings. And the same very much goes for us as adults and for us as a school. You know, in every corner of this school, we constantly want to be trying to get better or get even better. Let's presume that we're good. Some people may think they're great or we're great, you know. How do you make it even better? And if you have that mindset, the people who have that mindset throughout their life do better professionally, feel better about their work and about their impact on their community. You live a more satisfying life. It's actually it's interesting to constantly try to do things better than you did before. And so that, you know, that's the theme. So far, so good, I think. Ask the kids how the theme is going come December, January, and they may roll their eyes, or they may not. I don't know. Hopefully they're embracing it, though, and it's something that's memorable.
This is your 16th year here as the head at Burr and Burton.
Yes,
I just wondered, what seems different to you now than it did in the fall of, 2008?
2008, yeah. Yes.
You arrived here for the first time. Looking back, I mean, what stands out to you is like, wow, this has really evolved or changed for that time. So,
I mean, first of all, I can't believe this is my 16th year. You know, for a long time, you know, and I succeeded Chuck Scranton, who was here 15 years, and Bob Kennedy before Chuck was also 15 years. So I felt like there's a big unit. 15 years as a headmaster unit. And for a long time, I felt like the new head here. And now I'm realizing I'm the old head, which is taking some getting used to. So first of all, I think the biggest evolution is in my head, is this notion that, you know, I've been here for quite some time, and, you know, and I have every intention to stay for quite some time. I have you know, my youngest kid's in 4th grade. So you do the math on that, and, you know, we're into the 2030s before, you know, someone's trying to shove me out the door.
So you want to hang around for the bicentennial anniversary of the school?
Oh, unquestionably, you know, our 200th anniversary is
2029.
2029, and I unquestionably, I want to be here for that. I would say that we've continued to evolve, and you know, the evolution of great organizations is constant and ongoing. And, you know, the school had evolved in a lot of ways throughout the 90s and into the 2000s, and we've continued to evolve. You know, I think that this is a better school than it was 15 years ago for embracing all different kinds of diversity and understanding that diversity in our community. I think too many people reduce diversity to race, and the D in DEI becomes just, you know, how many students of color, how many people of color. And I'm not diminishing racial equity as an important component in our dialogue, but it's not the only component. And I think we're a far better school, certainly than I was when I was in high school, and I think when a lot of people were in high school. If you're, you know, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender, you know, the development of understanding of those differences is crucial to the well-being of kids. And I think we're far better in that area. We're far better at understanding and appreciating socioeconomic difference and the impact that those differences can have, and religious differences and so on and so forth. And what we really work hard to do is be a community that it not only embraces those differences, but uses them as part of the education of a Burr and Burton student, so they emerge from this place with a deeper understanding of the world. I'm proud of how we've evolved as a school, and I'm proud, quite frankly, of how we've evolved throughout educational circles. It's not just Burr and Burton, but everywhere the thinking I think has evolved in a very positive way.
I wondered if you wanted to talk a bit about the challenges you saw facing education, particularly in the wake as we've hopefully come out of the pandemic era.
Sure.
I mean, every now and then one hears about upticks in cases, and you wonder if that's going to be just an endemic thing from now on. But I wondered if you thought the pandemic experience changed anything fundamentally about the way education services might be delivered down the road, or was it some kind of learning experience in one way or another, or are there still some lingering after effects we still have to work with?
So I will say any challenge, and you know, getting through the pandemic, charting through the pandemic was unquestionably a challenge for our society, for our community, and for our school. Any challenge creates learning opportunities. So I believe deeply that the experiences that we gave to our students who had to live through that were quite powerful, and they were meaningful, and they will be lasting, and positive experiences. I hate that along with those positive experiences was sacrifice and loneliness and sickness and death. I mean, it's a horrible price to pay on that side. On the other side, you know, I think we did some things, and I think we learned some things that are really powerful. First and foremost, we learned the power of a community sticking together. And the Burr and Burton community coordinated really well and responded really well. Our surrounding community did. And to live in a community where we looked out for our neighbors, we supported each other, I think we took sensible precautions. We didn't shut down and hide, and I think, one of the learnings from this experience, and the devastating learnings, is how great a price kids paid that were locked in and didn't get to come back to school and experience human interaction for far too long. But in our community, and I'm not just talking Burr and Burton, I'm talking our elementary schools, I'm talking everywhere, we got reopened and we got kids re-engaged. And I think that was really, really important. So number one, you learn about community and the power of community. Number two, it reminded us of the importance of education as a social endeavor and an emotional endeavor, as well as an academic endeavor. The online education can be really good at delivering intellectual education, academic education, especially for those who are predisposed to learning. It's really ineffective at creating the human bonds that allow us to thrive as human beings.
Let me just shift gears slightly and talk about something relatively new, although I keep on getting reminded how, well, this isn't really all that new, and that's the whole question around artificial intelligence, in particular, generative artificial intelligence,
right.
generative AI, the chat programs or chatbot programs where students can write a prompt into a program and come up with a rather fairly detailed answer. ChatGPT is the most best known, but there are others. I guess I just wondered if your staff and faculty at Burr and Burton here had begun to think about some sort of policy or regulations around how students are be allowed to use that, if they'd be allowed to use it at all.
Right.
What is your thinking so far on that subject?
Yeah, you know, our thinking is evolving, and I should probably put into ChatGPT, you know, what should our regulations be around artificial intelligence, right? It's all new, and it's incredibly powerful technology, and if we don't understand it, we're missing something profound. So fear does not breed understanding, right? So I don't think we can approach it from a fear base and say, oh my God, the world's ending, everyone's going to cheat, this, that, and the other. Nobody's allowed to use or explore AI. That's to deny what's an undeniable force in our future. So I think we have to keep trying to understand how to use AI in a way that enhances learning. We have to, I mean, we've always been against cheating, and having a paper that was written by ChatGPT is no different than having a paper that's written by someone else that you hand in as your own. It's plagiarism. So, you know, we absolutely want to prevent that as best we can, but we also have to learn how AI can help kids and help us as adults learn. And I don't really know the answer to it, other than, you know, I'm kind of at this point going, wow, things are happening really fast.
Right.
And change in our society has been accelerated by technology, and now with AI, it's going to be acceleration squared. So I don't know the right answer, other than I do know we have to keep embracing and understanding AI, and then figuring out how it can make us a better school.
Right. Well, as you say, it's still very new, and we're all learning.
Yes, indeed.
Just one final question: what is the enrollment like at Burr and Burton this year?
We're at 755.
Okay.
We've got, of those 755, we have 28 international students. So what's happened in our enrollment trends over time, you know, COVID decimated our international program. The borders closed, kids could not get here. And so we went from having about 65 international students to 3. And now we're building back up, we're at about 27. And I expect that to continue to grow as, you know, travel, you know, the world has now opened up. So, and I would like to see us have a larger international program, because it brings real benefit to all of our students in the form of just a deeper understanding of the world out there.
Sure.
So of the 755, about 27 international students. The implosion in international students got replaced by the COVID surge. Families moving into this area, escaping high density populations, and then discovering, like, this is an unbelievable place to live. It's an unbelievable community to raise kids. And so, you know, most families who moved here didn't go back. They discovered they could stay here. You can work remotely or partially remotely and live a really nice life and have your job wherever it is, and come to schools, you know, like Burr and Burton, but Burr and Burton's not the only great school in this community. And so you get these wonderful options. It's a pretty good thing.
All right. Well, we'll have to leave it there for today, but thank you again, Mark Tashjian, for your time and comments on the school, and good luck, and
thank you.
Best wishes for the successful new school year.
Well, thank you, and success to all of us as we embark on this next year.
Absolutely.
All right. Thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Burr and Burton Academy is a co-educational private high school. Local sending towns include Danby, Dorset, Dover, Landgrove, Londonderry, Manchester, Mount Tabor, Peru, Stratton, Sunderland, Wardsboro, Weston, and Windhall. For the GNAT-TV News Project, I'm Andrew McKeever.